Okay, so behind me is a eastern red cedar, and we have these throughout the whole property. This one over in front of our camper, and then there's another two or three that are more towards the back of the property, are pretty large. And I looked up how to do a guesstimation on what the age of an eastern red cedar was. Now to do that, you take a measuring tape, measure the circumference of the tree, divide that by pi, then divide that number by 2, and then divide that by the growth rate per year, approximate growth rate per year, which for eastern red cedar is about a ½ inch per year. So using that calculation that I just did, came up with 239 years old for this tree behind me. And it was way older than what I thought it was going to be. I was thinking more in the 100-ish year mark, maybe 150. I was thinking it might be as old as like Civil War times. But the 239 years really kind of threw me. So I started doing a little bit more research and found a tree calculator where they had you could just put in your circumference, the type of tree, and hit calculate, and that came up with about 88 years. I did another tree and it came up with about 100 years for that. So, but it didn't show me what their calculation was or how they came up with it. Again, this is just an approximate because growing conditions, sunlight, all that kind of stuff is going to affect how fast a tree grows, so it's an average. So I kept looking up, but I can't find why there's such a huge difference. Why does the calculation using the pi and radius and all that kind of stuff, why does that come up with 239 years, and then I stick it in another calculator and it says 88 years? If any of you have any input on this, I would love to know. Either way, this tree behind me is probably at least around 100 years old, but 239 years old would be pretty amazing. But I don't know if that's correct. And really the only way that you could completely know is by cutting down the tree and then doing the calculations on the rings and all that. But of course we're not going to cut this tree down or any of our other big cedars. So I just wanted to kind of get an idea of when these trees started growing, what may have been going on in this area history-wise during that time period. But because there's like a 100-year range, or almost a 150-year range, that's a whole lot of history. So, did it start growing in 1932 or did it start growing in 1786? I don't know. So if you've got some input, I'd really appreciate it. Or if you've done calculations with maybe a different variety of tree, what type of calculation did you use? Or did you use just a general calculator? Do you know what the calculations are? Is there some input that you can give me? I'd really appreciate it. So, hope you let me know. Hope you're having a good day. I'm hanging out here in the forest, the cedar trees. And this one here, as you can see, is right here by the creek, which is flowing really well right now. But this is a big old gnarly tree. It's probably at least 50 feet tall, maybe more. I don't know, I'm guessing. But it's a pretty big gnarly tree. It's got all kinds of crazy branches and holes and stuff going on. And it's just sitting here by the creek, flowing by. So if you've got input on estimated tree calculations for the age of a tree, I would much appreciate it, especially if it has to do with the eastern red cedar. All right. Talk at y'all later. Bye.